Hi, Asha. Vikram. I'll just turn on my camera to better interact with the audience. Hi, everyone. I hope you all are having a great day so far. If anyone from the audience would like to turn on their cameras, would be really great. It would be more interactive. And also, please feel free to interrupt me in between for any questions or any clarifications. I would be more than happy to do that. So, thank you, Arnav, for inviting me. So, what should be the flow of this discussion? Mhm. Yeah. Okay, okay. So, firstly, I'll start with my quick introduction if any one of you would not know me. So, I'm Nistha Gupta, and I recently graduated from Maharaja Agrisen Institute of Technology, Delhi. I was pursuing BTech in Information Technology, and I've recently wrapped up my software engineering internship at Walmart. And last summer, I interned at Microsoft and Morgan Stanley. And yeah, I grabbed PPO from all those three places. And a couple of more startups also I've interned previously. So basically, I've worked with various tech stacks. And yeah, apart from that, I'm a very curious person who loves to explore new things and a lifelong learner. So that was a quick intro about me. Uh, Before starting, like if anyone has any certain questions around the topic, like if you have gone through my journey or any topics you would like me to discuss externally, I would be happy to take them as well. So I'll start. You can put them in the chat or you can unmute yourself to speak about your doubts or any queries you may have. So I'll start with how did I start preparing. So basically, in I was not from a technical background in 11th and 12th. So I started my coding journey from my first year itself. It was second semester. First sem I didn't do anything. Second sem I started doing the coding and everything. So first I pursued a DSA in C++. Then I also interned in my third semester. It was a teaching assistant internship, and simultaneously I pursued a development skill which was machine learning for me. So slowly and gradually I was doing coding and development simultaneously, both of them together. Then COVID came and the lockdown came, and it was a kind of a relief for me because I did not have any college pressure by that time. So I kept doing coding and everything rigorously during the lockdown period. So I was doing competitive programming as well, like I was giving contests on various platforms to hone my coding skills. So then the internship season for us starts around the end of uh, fourth semester, because by the end of sixth semester you have to pursue your internship. So the companies start hiring by the end of fourth, like it's start of fifth semester around. So you need to make sure that you are well prepared till that time. While prepared, it means that you're decent with your DSA or coding skills. You have some certain development projects, like there are so many development skills: Android, web, machine learning, whatever interests you, whatever is your passion, you can try, and then you can think that whatever you want to pursue in that line. So you should have around 4 to 5 decent projects to explain in the interview rounds or to put up in your resume. So if I talk about my offers, all those were off campus offers. So for off campus, the resume screening is a bit difficult part, that your resume should pass that ATS, and it should actually impress the recruiter so that you can move ahead in the process. For that, you should have some decent projects, because if you are going for internship, I would not expect you to have some really good background, like some really good company names, brand names, or internships. So what will help you is that you should have some good projects on any development skill. So that was the first task. Then I was also till that time I also always like I did a three around 3 to 4 internships also. Like I was constantly doing intern while I was doing coding and development as well. So it's not you're not supposed you're not expected to do internships in big brands. It can be startups or it can be anything, but at least you are gaining something out of that internship. It's worth it. So that is what I did. So then I was constantly applying on various career sites. I was very active on LinkedIn so that whenever any opportunity comes up, I used to talk to people. I can take referrals. I used to apply on for various companies. So that was my approach. So what you can do here is, okay, guys, please feel free to interrupt me in between. It should be interactive. I'm really feeling like I'm going one way, but please feel free to interrupt me anywhere you want to know anything more about it. So here I was applying on various career sites. I did not take referrals basically till I got an internship. So I wouldn't say that I took referrals, but that's actually a good approach. So I was giving various coding tests or online assessments of various companies, and as a result, it was very hard to clear them. Or even after solving every question, I was not getting interview calls. So then came this Morgan Stanley. That was my first interview call I got, and yeah. So if I talk about a little bit about the process, it was a resume screening with CGPA first round. Then I got an online assessment link, and then there were two rounds. First one was technical, and second one was technical plus managerial round. So, in general, whatever companies I'm going to talk about, the technical round involves coding questions, that is data structures, some computer science fundamentals, that is OS, OOPS, TBMS, computer networks. I was hardly asked anywhere, and then it can be some sort of aptitude, a minor aptitude questions. So that will be the general process for technical rounds. For managerial, you can be asked about your resume, your projects and everything, or system design. It was asked for some of the interview rounds, and then HR round is basically the behavioral types of questions. So for Morgan Stanley, it was the first round was technical, the second was technical plus managerial. Then I might have applied to Microsoft as well. I did not remember because I used to apply everywhere. I used to get links or anything. So then I got an online assessment. It was on Metal, the 3D essay questions again. So after that, I had 4 interview rounds for summer internship for Microsoft Key. So there were 2 technical rounds, one managerial, one HR. Again, the pattern was similar as I talked. In managerial, I was a system design. Then I think that was the process, and then I pursued for 2 months I pursued Morgan Stanley internship, and after some time the Microsoft started. So then I did 2 months Microsoft summer internship as well, and then I grabbed PPO from both of them. So I'll talk about intern to PPO conversion tips as well. And yeah, towards the end of the session, I'm going to ping some links over the chat of the resources I pursued and of some blogs or something which I have written, or some post which can be useful for you as well. So then, after I was done with the internships and the PPO process, then I thought that I should get some 6 months or 6 months winter internship as well, because that might be a good exposure for some other company. Like if I'll pursue some other company's internship, so I'll learn some new tech stack, and it will be useful for the time being. So I started applying for 6 months internship. So if you like, Arnav Bhaiya pinged my blog link as well. So I'll just quickly go through that. Like I applied to various companies for 6 months. Then I gave interviews for 3 companies. BrowserStack. It was a slightly different process because it's an unicorn. It's not an MNC. So you cannot expect the same process of technical rounds and everything there. So the first round was for the coding online assessment round. It had 3 DSA questions on HackerRank platform, and then the first round was a machine coding round. It's actually very different, and I'm not it's actually not horrifying. I was a little bit scared because I did not give this round any time anywhere. So what the process is that it generally has 2 hours will be given to you. 1.5 hour will be for your solution, and half hour that you will have to through your solution to the interviewer. So basically, you'll be given a real life problem statement, and you have to code your solution. So any development language you can use here, where the development comes into picture, because startups and unicorn focus more on development side, which I have observed. So okay. So basically, it has a machine. So this was a machine coding round. I was given some problem statement and I coded it to Node.js. Then there was this managerial round in which I was asked two system design questions, and the third one was the HR round. So this was BrowserStack. Then I grabbed 6 months internship over here. Then Walmart came. Walmart, it was a general hiring process. It was BrowserStack was hiring via referral drive. I asked someone for referral, he referred me, and then my resume got shortlisted, and then this process happened. For Walmart, it was a general hiring that was named Coders. It was only it was hiring only girls. It was on B2C platform, as far as I remember. Yeah. So Coders, there were one was MCQ round, the second one was coding round, and after that there were two interviews. One was technical, one was managerial. The process was ideally not very difficult, I would say. So this was the process for Walmart. Again, the questions and pattern remain similar. I grabbed a Walmart 6 months internship. I gave interview for Google as well. So for Google, I did not have any coding and online assessment round. I think I simply applied somewhere. I think there was an opening for it. Then the recruiter reached out to me that you have cleared resume screening and we would like to schedule your interviews. So then they scheduled for summer internship, for winter internship. There were only two. There were supposed to be only two interviews. So then I appeared for two Google Meet interviews. There are 45 minutes interviews, and you are asked two DSA. Like I was asked two DSA questions in both. So unfortunately, I could not make it through, and maybe it was a hard luck or something, because I could not even decode myself that why didn't I make it. But maybe I lagged, or the timing or something is actually not suitable for them. So that was the process for Google. And then yeah, so this was a general process. I'll shortly talk about intern to PPO conversion towards the end, when we'll be done till the internships portion. So I'll take some questions like which I can see. Anamika is asking, from where do you practice coding questions for an interview? Okay, so like I talked, I was doing competitive programming. So basically I was given coding contests on various platforms like Codeforces, CodeChef, everywhere. When the internship season came nearby, like when I saw that companies will be hiring and the process is a little bit difficult in competitive programming. In competitive programming, we have questions like story type questions and everything, but in general, you're not asked that. You're asked some standard or some basic questions. So I started doing lead code as well, giving lead code contests also. And then this Okay. So when I was doing lead code and everything, I focused on standard questions as well. So that time there were no sheets, but now I can see there are so many sheets given by various famous YouTubers. So you can follow that. I'll give the link if you want. So this sheet covers all the standard questions. Usually in the companies, in the very basic companies, I did not find many questions going out of the standard questions, to be honest. But yeah, like you should be thorough. If you want to clear online assessment, you should be thorough with your coding practices. So this was my coding, and yeah, because I was doing from second semester, I pursued various online paid courses as well. I practiced on various platforms, be it HackerRank, be it CodeChef, be it Codeforces, everywhere. I was giving, and group studies helps a lot. I was having this peer group, coding peer group from my college and from different colleges as well. So we used to solve some certain questions daily. We used to discuss contests, and we used to, do competitions among ourselves for solving questions and everything. So basically, we were doing coding rigorously in the whole lockdown period, as well as in second semester, third and fourth. The like I was doing coding, consistently, but not that much that I did in lockdown period before my internship. Like I prepared 6 to 7 months very rigorously before the intern season. Let me know if if it clears your doubt, or if you have anything else as well. Ruhi, what was your strategy for the DSA? What was your strategy? Like, what do you want to know, Rui? I did not get the question. Like, strategy, you mean ki how I used to solve coding questions, like easy, medium, difficult? Like, you can unmute yourself to speak as well. I'll Rui, if you can hear me, please, you can just reiterate your question, or you can unmute yourself. Meanwhile, I'll take another question. Shruti, for O, is it necessary to do CP or lead code is enough? So, Shruti, actually, is for OA, it depends company to company. I found it that it was not actually very easy, that I can only clear it via lead code. But for some certain companies, yeah, lead code is more than enough. But because I was doing CP as well, I was doing lead code as well. So I think I found it little bit in medium portion only, that yeah, if you are doing both of them, it's good. Without CP, I think it can be a little difficult, but for certain companies who do not ask very hard questions, lead code is enough. So if you have time, like if you are in second year or something, I would suggest you to do a lead or CP. But if you are nearby your internship season or placement season, then please focus on lead code. Should we stay on one development or try different? Yeah, this is the mistake I did. Thanks, Asta, for asking this question. I would iterate my experience. Like, I was the one in third semester. I was the one trying every development language, be it Android, be it web, be it AR, VR, or like everything, like anything, everything. I was trying everything, and then you simultaneously end up not mastering any one language. So when I talked to some of my seniors or mentors, they suggested me that you should not go through every development language. So then I stick to one, that was machine learning. So the similar thing I would like to suggest to you as well. Do not try to learn everything, do not try every development language. You can try for a certain period of time to check your interest or passion, that which one is actually interesting you, and which one would you like to pursue in your career. But you cannot learn each and every language, you need to stick to one language only. But for trial purpose, you can give some of your time to at least give it a try, which I did, so that I can check my interest, that which one I would like to pursue. Are there any separate referral rights that happen? I'm loading it for the first one. Okay. Okay, Nishta. So actually, yeah, there are some companies who only hire through referrals. In MNC, I've never heard this, but for startups and unicorns, this happens. Like for BrowserStack, I saw on LinkedIn that various people were posting that. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, so for BrowserStack, so many people were posting, employees of that company, that BrowserStack is hiring for 6 months software engineer internship, and if you are interested, then you can ping me for referrals. So I did not see opening anywhere. There was no opening on the official site, or there was no opening anywhere. There was neither a job ID. It was simply a referral drive that you have to ping an employee, and if that employee refers you, then you are in the drive. And if the recruiter shortlist your resume, then you will be going through the certain process. So yeah, separate referral drives actually happens. So that's why you need to be active on social media like LinkedIn. Twitter might have help somewhere. Like I, I actually made my ID on Twitter a little bit later. Not sure about that, but LinkedIn really helps, and you should be active. And
Okay. So do you know any other companies who specifically hire through referral drives only? And then when do these referral drives happen? Like all time of the year or a particular separate month?
okay, so yeah, like as I mentioned, usually startups or unicorns hire through referral drives. MNCs, though, you can obviously take referrals, but there is no certain thing that they will hire only through referrals. But like I have heard about BrowserStack, I've heard about Cred as well, and what else? ShareChat also. Like ShareChat, there's a recruiter, Ananya. You can maybe connect with her. So Ananya usually posts that this and this role is open for ShareChat, so you can ping her for any referral or something. Ananya Upadhyay. So she's for ShareChat, and then there are some other companies as well, like this startups only. I'll ping the names once I'll get some names. I'm actually forgetting them, but yeah, people, and there is no certain time period, but usually the internship season, as I mentioned, that internship season is from September till Feb or March. Companies hire from September till March, so you can expect openings anywhere, anytime around these months only. And referrals will be also referral drives also happens like this only. So for that, we should like, how will you get to know about this is to be active on LinkedIn. And what I used to do is I used to make a sheet. Okay. So in that sheet, I used to write about the companies that I really want to get into. And then I used to connect people from those companies, recruiters, some software engineers, senior software engineers, like that. And also you usually you should be active on LinkedIn. Like, oh, if certain person likes the another hiring post, so you will be also notified about that, because there is no hard and fast rule. And also I'll ping that post link, that my LinkedIn post link here, where I shared some Telegram groups where you will get some notifications about openings in any company. So that has actually helped me as well. So this is the only way you can get to know about that any company is hiring or not, or any referral drives are happening or not.
Okay.
Just ended my semester two and just started with TSA with CPP from Capcom and learning the DBMS from. Okay, Lavanya, you've just ended your semester two. Yeah, you are actually on very good time. So that's enough. Like, I've heard a CVP, like web coding course is actually good. It should be good. Like, I'm not sure which course you have enrolled or something, but yeah, if you're doing it, say if you're consistent with your coding practice, you can pursue it from anywhere. If you are actually passionate about it, and if you're consistently doing coding, DSA, and everything, then you're good to go. Learning DBMS from Sanchit Jain is actually good. Yeah, you can go ahead. Also do OOPS and OS. Like, you are in just semester two, like, so no need to do right now. But when your internship season is nearby, please make sure that you're doing computer science fundamentals. But as of now, you are actually in right pace. After some time, when you're comfortable with coding, please start hanging upon development skill, any development skill, because you really need projects to get your resume shortlisted. Is DSA enough, or should we do CP simultaneously? Yeah, that's actually, I think I've discussed this previously as well. DSA enough. DSA and CP is not different things. CP is just a sport, and it's a brainstorming game, I would say. If you'll do more questions, if you'll give more contests, so basically you'll end up having a good logic building skills. You'll when you're solving any DSA questions, you'll see that you are actually able to build logic very fast. So giving context and everything is very useful, but what time period is it actually? So if you are very nearby your internship or placement season, then please focus on standard questions and lead code questions only. But if you have enough time, please go for CP, because it's really amazing. And when you'll start giving contests, when you'll get hang on it, like when you love when you'll get some good logic building, you'll eventually you'll start loving coding and everything. So this will actually helps. And doing CP will never you will never regret that, because even if you're not able to do it properly or anything, you will gain something out of it. So it will be always helpful if you have enough time. What was the level of interview questions of Walmart? So, hi Sakshi. As I mentioned, it was something between easy or medium. Not very easy, not medium. It was between that. So, DSA was asked, and I was asked OS, DBMS, oops. Yeah, I was asked all of these things, not computer networks. So, level was standard only. Like, it did not go out of the standard question, and even in standard, it was still medium only. So overall, I did not found it very difficult. Can you please suggest? And I'm really sorry, I cannot share questions of any companies. So yeah, if you're expecting that, I wouldn't be able to do that because of some policies or some confidentiality. Please suggest interview tips and tricks for system designer. Very nice question, Mahima. I was actually expecting this question. So this I'll be sharing a post in the comments in this, that. I have written a LinkedIn post. Like if you open my LinkedIn account, you can see some of my posts down there. You'll see all those Telegram groups. You'll see intern to PPO tips. You'll see this system design thingy as well. So for system design, I was actually preferring some YouTube videos and some course that was actually a educative course. It's actually a paid course, but because this is a cheap meet, so I just ping one GitHub repository which I have booked. So you can go through that. It's actually amazing, and there are no tips and tricks for that. You actually need to have certain knowledge about system design, like how a system is made, how is it actually performing in the back end, how it looks in the front end. So you need to have a decent knowledge for internship. They are not expecting very high level of knowledge. And also one more thing, for till your fourth year, you will be only expected OOD, that is object oriented design. Do not go for HLD, it's only LLD, low level design, for 98% company. Like whatever I've given interviews, I have only been asked about OOD. So it's basically you should have a sound knowledge of OOPS and a good and a decent knowledge of system design. Then you can mix both. And how will you do that? I'll bring that post link. CP necessary? Yeah, I've already answered it. I just joined. Could you please give a brief? Sorry to bother. Divya, Shri, actually, I've been discussing about my journey only till now, and I've been answering the questions from the chat. So, no worries. Like, if you've joined now, you are still here, so you can hear some of the other questions. I did not discuss very much till now. And yeah, because the whatever I've discussed, I'll be pinging all of these links in the chat, so you can stay till there. How to apply off campus for okay, one second. Can you recommend YouTube channels for DSA? uh, See, YouTube channels now, actually many I have prepared from online courses, but yeah, I have referred some YouTube channels. I can give names like Take You Forward. Striver ka channel is actually good. Some tree series and like all those series which he has uploaded is good. Then there is this channel for dynamic programming, Aditya Verma. He's actually good. Like he's very good with DP. I would really suggest that DP and sliding window from there. What else? And then yeah, I did not actually follow a certain YouTube channel from scratch till end. What I used to do is whenever I did not get any question, like I'm not getting this topic, I'm not getting this question, I used to search on YouTube, because as I mentioned, I did not follow any YouTube channel. I was doing paid courses. So for that, but now there are so there, because there was not so much content during my time, but there is so much content now. You can actually follow some YouTube channel, you can learn from that. So this is these two channels I actually followed, like when I was stuck in any topic. But when you're solving lead code questions or when you're stuck anywhere, you can just go on the YouTube, you can search about the topic or anything, and then I think you can see whatever which video has more views or whatever is actually helping you. How to apply off campus? Now, yeah, off campus, there are so many things you can do. The first thing, you can simply apply on career site. And then referral drive, which I was talking about. For applying career site, there are two options. Either you're simply going and applying, uploading a resume and everything, or you're asking from a certain employer to refer you. After that person refers you, either you have already applied on that job, or you will get a link on your mail that you can go and apply here. Then you have to go and apply there. So this is something else. Then pure referral drives that I was talking about for BrowserStack, that actually happens. Or you can talk to recruiters that you're looking for this and this position in their company, if they have any openings, so can they consider you. This is also I've done. This is another thing. Then
So which of these works better? So is hiring manager better, or is employee of the same level better, or should we do HR?
actually, for a fresher level, you cannot, hiring manager cannot do anything, which I have experienced. Even if there is an opening, HR will also redirect you to the opening, and there is very less chance that any HR recruiter will reply you on LinkedIn. So the best part is that when you see an opening, you go to an employee asking for a referral and then applying. So this is the best But because hiring manager thinks doesn't work at a fresher level and HR hardly replies you, and if there is an opening, then there is no sense to ping HR actually. But there is, if there's no opening, if there is no hiring from that company, then HR might help you. Does that answer?
Yeah.
Awesome. How to manage development in DSA in parallel? Nice question, Anamika. So that's actually a thing that you will have to do time management. Like, you cannot leave anything. Uh, you need to manage your time wisely. Like for certain time period, you're giving you're doing DSA a certain time you're doing development. There might come a time that you're more interested in development than DSA, and you'll eventually go through development, and not giving any time to DSA, and that might be a horrible situation. Please do not do that. I know that it is very hard to keep switching between both of these. It's very hard, I know, because I have been in a situation. But please manage your time wisely. You can set alarms. You can use Pomodoro technique only, I think, somewhere like that, taking breaks and something like that. I have not used, but I've heard it is quite, productive. So you need to actually manage your time, and if you are not managing your time daily, it's fine. You can do accordingly, like 2 days for this, 1 day for this, or 1 week for this, like this. But please manage both of them parallelly anyhow, because you know, and yeah, like, do not give gap. Like, you're doing only development for 1 month and not doing DSA, you'll be back to basics again after 1 month. So please do not do that. It will be very bad for you and your situation. You did a lot of internship. You want an internship along with offline college. How do you manage both? Shruti, so with offline college, I did one internship at third semester, which was a 4 months internship. And then the good thing happened is lockdown came. So when I was in fourth semester, in half of my fourth semester, lockdown came. So yeah, actually offline college to nahi tha mera. I wouldn't say that. I did all my internships during online college. It's actually not very difficult. You have to manage somewhere, but yeah, I agree. In offline college, it's difficult to manage both. It's actually very difficult because you need to attend college. You cannot do internship during that time, and कॉलेज और इंटर्नशिप का टाइम पीरियड भी सेम ही होगा, लाइक 9 to 5 जॉब और समथिंग लाइक दैट. सो इट्स something that you really can't do. So if you find some internship which is flexible with timings or something like that, then you can go ahead. But for me, I did a lot of internships because it was lockdown. For you, it might be difficult because of offline college. Where did you share the Telegram groups link? Anisha, I shared it on my LinkedIn, a post. I'll share that post link in the chat after some time. Please go.
The one more question, someone mentioned about the referrals. So I want to ask, like in some companies, referral is given by like developers or some other people who are not into development. But in some other companies, we need referral directly from the software developer or software developer too. So how do we find out, in which companies referral should be taken from which person?
Yeah, I didn't get it. मतलब referral है तो employer से लोगे, but how? Like you're talking about कि software engineer की opening है तो software engineer से ले, या there are other positions like specialist, QA or something like that. Are you
Huh.
saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what I preferred is that I used to take referrals from that positions person only. Like if I see there's an opening for software engineer at Google, so I would search only for software engineer at Google only. Like I wouldn't do that for QA or for uh, some other developer or something like that. Same position thing is actually helps.
Okay. So do you know some companies, like have you heard of some companies where referral can be taken from other people also?
I think it should be possible. Like referral तो यार company में कोई भी दे सकता है. It doesn't depends on the position or something. How effective is it? I have no idea, because I've just entered my corporate life, or I'm just entering my corporate life, so I haven't given referrals anytime. I did not know the internal process of what happens actually, and I think people might not know about it other than recruiters. So I'm not really sure, but I think referral to कोई भी दे सकता है, but how effective is it? I have no idea about.
Okay.
Interview tips and tricks of DSA rounds. How did you prepare? How did I prepare? तो मैंने share कर दिया था no. Interview tips and tricks is something that हाँ तो interview tips and tricks में क्या होता है DSA के like you have been solving questions a lot. Preparation wise मैं tips and tricks में ये बताऊंगी कि leak code का आप जैसे कर रहे हो तो for every topic make sure कि you're doing certain easy questions, certain medium questions and certain hard questions. टाइमिंग्स उस हिसाब से मैनेज करो लाइक इजी के लिए 20 मिनट्स, हार्ड के लिए 40 मिनट्स एंड सॉरी हार्ड मीडियम के लिए 40 एंड हार्ड के लिए 1 आवर समथिंग. तो ये आपकी प्रिपरेशन स्ट्रैटेजी रह सकती है. इनिशियली टाइम बहुत ज़्यादा हो सकता है बट थोड़ा सा डिसेंट होने के बाद दिस शुड बी आवर टाइमिंग्स. एंड देन फॉर इंटरव्यू राउंड्स there are some tips and tricks obviously for interview. Like when I'm sitting when an interviewer asking me a question, it cannot be a one way interview, right? जैसे कि if he is asking me a question, so first step is that you have to explain your thinking process of how you are going to approach the question, of how you are planning and what are your thoughts coming into mind. And before that as well, you should clarify the questions, all the edge cases you're thinking about, and all those things that like some edge cases or some constraints which you should not assume anything by yourself. You should think about everything like edge cases. You should clarify about constraints or anything you have in your mind that you should clarify. And then you should give about you should you should communicate your thought process. And then when you start coding, it should not be that you're coding and not speaking anything while you're coding. You should explain your solution thoroughly, that this is what I'm doing. Your variable names, your code should be very neat and clean. Variable names, I mean that you cannot use like we used to certainly code like int a equals to this, int b equals to this. No, please use meaningful variable names. This is a coding practice which you should generally also prefer while doing anything, so that in interview you should not fail in this. So this is some tips, or this is not tips and tricks. This is a general practice which you should, apply everywhere. And rest, so yeah, you need to, you should manage your time wisely in your interviews, because interviewer might come up with, some certain level of questions in his mind. So if you are wasting your time on a particular question, then it might end up end up losing opportunity of another question that might be easy or something like that. So you should manage your time wisely during an interview. Here we are. Currently in my fifth semester and placement. Strangers are enough, or should one? So should one practice all the topics from Striver sheet, or should one concentrate only on certain? So helps them in placements is okay. Striver sheet बहुत अच्छी है to be honest, but ये यार I would say कि Striver sheet आप तब करो when you are decent with your DSA knowledge, and when you think that okay कि अब तो सिर्फ एक महीना बचा है प्लेसमेंट सीजन में, या फिर you have a very little time before the internship or placement season, तभी करना. Because before that, even Striver says this thing that आप मेरी sheet करने से पहले you should have a decent or sound knowledge of coding or DSS skills. So please make sure that you're doing that, or Striver sheet से सारे topics कर लो, but before the interview only. उससे पहले you should have good knowledge about all the topics like trees हो गया, linked list हो गया, DP हो गया. So you should have solved some certain level of questions from that topic. Only then the Striver sheet could be helpful, because that contains of various standard questions only that you might expect in an interview, and you can't do not cram the solutions, please. That won't help you anyhow, because what people think is that okay, sheet aa gayi, we will cram the solutions of these 40-50 questions, and then we will clear the interviews. That's not the case. You won't be able to do that. So I'm very frank here. So please do not cram. आप sheet करो, but उससे पहले make sure कि you have good knowledge of all the data structures. Should a good resume look like it should stand out in the audition? We work on self projects, and if yes, just look at another resume. Work on two different development fields. Resume, okay. So See, thoda bahut I have talked about resume previously, but I'll talk again. So for resume, if you are going for internship, then you're not expected to have big brands on your resume or amazing resume. No, you should have some certain decent projects, maybe 3 to 4 or 5 projects. And yeah, for your internship level, CGPA might be a good criteria as well. And you can participate in some hackathons. I used to participate in hackathons, coding competitions. I used to mentor and judge them, so that was actually a good idea because it ended up having a good repo on my resume. And which one would stand out and get shortlisted? Again, this is the only criteria that you cannot claim something that I know this development, I know this. You cannot claim anything. You need to give a proof of work on your resume. So this is what your projects or your competitions or your some certain ranks will help you. You can do competitive programming and you can put your good ranks. You like there are so many competitions, Google Code Jam, Facebook Hacker Cup and everything. So if you have some certain decent ranks on it, you can put them in your resume. Of course, you should work on your self projects. That is what I've been talking about. You should have self projects that actually helps. Should you work on 2 different development fields? I talked about it previously. You can explore different development fields, but stick to one only because it won't help. Like if you think that you're done with one development language, you're good to go with it, and you are mastering it, then you can obviously go for another. And but don't limit yourself that yaar I'm doing web, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, मजा नहीं आ रहा, but निष्ठा दीदी ने कहा था कि एक ही करो तो मैं एक ही करूंगी, ऐसा नहीं होता है। आप करो, आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, बहुत करने के बाद भी कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स बना लिए, नहीं अच्छा लग रहा है, गो एंड स्विच टू अनदर। इट्स योर लाइफ, यू आर फ्री टू डू दैट, बट मेक श्योर कि आप जो भी कर रहे हो यू आर डूइंग विद होल पैशन और अच्छे से कंसिस्टेंटली कर रहे हो। That's actually a good thing if you have made full stack web apps and everything. It's good. Keep exploring more. Agar if you are more interested in web development, you can go in deep. You can do many things. आपको लगता है कि now you have almost mastered it. You know everything, kind of thing, and you're good. If anyone takes your interview on these things, if you're good to go, then you can switch to another. Totally depends on you. Would you recommend any conferences and jobs and hiring process? When I did data science machine learning, so many people told me ki yaar, for a fresher level it's not actually to get a it's not easy to get a job in data science fields. So conferences or something तो यार रिसर्च पेपर कॉलेज में ज़रूर पब्लिश कराए हैं, IEEE वगैरह जो होती है कॉन्फ्रेंसेज एंड ऑल। तो थोड़ा सा सर्च कर लेना, इतना मुझे भी आइडिया नहीं है इसका बिकॉज आई डिड नॉट सर्च, बस थोड़े रिसर्च पेपर्स मैंने पढ़े थे काफ़ी सारे उसके। तो वो है टिप्स फॉर डेटा साइंस जॉब्स एंड हायरिंग प्रोसेस। मैंने इंटरव्यू कभी मतलब मेरे जो इंटरव्यूज होते थे ना, मेरे प्रोजेक्ट्स मशीन लर्निंग में होते थे, तो मुझसे whenever I used to give managerial round or something, when where they used to discuss about the resume, it usually revolves around a machine learning. Like I was in my Microsoft interview, I was asked to design a system around machine learning using machine learning algorithms and principles. So specifically I've never applied to data science, like data scientist position, machine learning engineer position, and then gave an interview. So I'm not really sure about the tips, but yeah, you can, because I've not seen many openings for a fresher level or for internship, so I've never seen. So I wouldn't be the best person to answer this.
Right. So even in the interviews, are they only looking for familiarity with the algorithms, or did you have to scratch code everything?
No, familiarity won't help. Familiarity means that you have a basic knowledge. Basic वालों को कोई लेना नहीं चाहता, to be honest. It's something that you have built good projects. You have done, you have literally coded in that, like Python, MATLAB or something for data science. आपने code किया है, you have good knowledge of algorithms and everything, then only. Like I did internship at Morgan Stanley. I was actually working as a machine learning engineer over there. Like during my internship, I purely worked on machine learning ka project. It was an NLP based project. I coded in Python. So this is something that I can talk about during my other interviews, but I cannot actually mention that I was a data scientist because I was not. So आप projects पे काम कर सकते हो, आप कर सकते हो, but saying that okay मुझे पता है supervised unsupervised क्या होता है but बहुत deep में आप मुझसे पूछोगे तो that I don't know. तो अगर आप ऐसा बोल रहे हो तो another person would actually not hire you ना, because they are expecting you to code language, like decent basic knowledge तो कोई भी definition or something so anyone can pick from net, but they
No.
are expecting you to code.
So I was asking if they're okay with the use of packages, or are they expecting you to get down to the real algorithms? Because linear regressive vagera is like 4 lines of code, but if they want you to write the regressive, that might be a big deal.
I have never been asked to do that. They were enough with the packages. But again, like as I mentioned, I never gave a data science, pure data science interview. It was another interview where I used to give my, where I used to discuss my resume or projects or some system design thingy in that interview. So for that, packages was enough. Like discussing about linear regression ki 4 line ka code was enough, but if I'm giving a pure data science ka interview then it might not be enough, but again I'm not sure on this point.
So one more doubt I have is that all these big companies that you were talking about, they also have analyst positions. So how do they hire for that? Is that also similar?
Can you name a company about this, like if you're talking about a certain company?
I think Goldman Sachs has analyst and JP Morgan has analyst.
Even I was a technology analyst at Morgan Stanley, but because the name is only analyst, it is software engineer only. In investment bankings and everything, they name a software engineer intern as technology analyst intern. Work here, I'm not very sure कि work like uh, PBC और इनमें difference इतना होता है कि for all these fintech companies you are actually supposed to understand the whole business requirements, business वगैरह आपको समझ आना चाहिए, and you might be working on some fintech projects, but for PBC where we name it as software engineer intern, what I observed is that you need not to understand very much in depth business requirements. You can simply work on code base or something as well. It actually varies from team to team, from projects to projects. But this was the main difference. But analyst or something, analyst, अच्छा मैं समझ गई. Shruti, are you confusing between data science and data analyst? Hello? I can't hear you, but whatever data analyst and data scientist is different. There is no such thing analyst, data analyst in GS or Morgan or JP Morgan. It was entirely different. It was software engineer intern only, but the name is technology analyst. Sometimes even after it's not able to solve the question. That's actually very generic, Tanu. You might not understand everything. You might, even after learning every topic, you might not end up solving every question. It's a very natural process. Do not worry about it. Give yourself time. Don't be too hard on yourself. Like you should, as I mentioned about easy, medium, hard technique, please keep following that. And let's pick a topic. Let's pick trees. Okay, so trees ka you can see that yaar मैंने कर लिया but I'm not able to solve the question. So what should be your approach is you actually understand the concept from YouTube or something. Like I said, you can watch the series, some tree series of Striver or something anywhere, and then go on LeetCode, solve let's say 8 easy questions. 8 easy में आपने 3 या 4 देख के कर लिए, बाकी के 4 खुद से कर लिए, you will be able to do it. नहीं भी हो रहा है, it's not of an issue. बुकमार्क कर दो क्वेश्चंस या फिर टॉपिक्स लिख लो that this is not I'm not able to solve, और कोई भी टॉपिक हो गया ट्रीज वगैरह से तो उसके जो टिप्स हैं मतलब बेसिकली उसका जो मेन इंट्यूशन है वो लिख लो so that you can go up again and you can revise through it the concept. Similarly for medium based questions, medium के आपने let's say 6 questions कर लिए, 3 खुद से कर लिए, 3 देखकर कर लिए, and again hard के 4 या 5 questions के लिए. तो एक ये pattern रखो for every topic. So certainly you might end up solving each and every question, because you you can't expect yourself कि trees के 2-3 question देख के I can solve anything. You cannot do that. You need to give yourself time, and you need to give your brain time to process, to train themselves on that algorithm basically. So this should be the ideal thing. And ये सबके साथ होता है, सब कुछ करने के बाद भी क्वेश्चन नहीं सॉल्व हो रही, तो इट्स नॉट योर प्रॉब्लम, मेरे साथ भी बहुत हुआ है। That we already know, so content doesn't know that we have already done. Okay. मेरे साथ कभी ऐसा हुआ नहीं, बट यार ये बहुत ही अजीब क्वेश्चन है, that we already know that interview doesn't know why I've already done it. ठीक है, मतलब वही करो, क्लैरिफिकेशंस, मतलब आइडिया सेम ही रहेगा, क्लैरिफाई कर लो, कंस्ट्रेंट्स देख लो, डू नॉट एकदम से देखते क्वेश्चन की अरे भाई तो मैंने कर रखा है, वो प्लेजर वो हैप्पीनेस मत दिखाओ फेस पे, मे बी दैट कैन बी अ थिंग। मेरे साथ हुआ नहीं है, आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर हाउ टू आंसर दिस, बट ठीक है, बहुत ज्यादा खुश मत हो, क्लैरिफिकेशन रखो, धीरे धीरे अपने थॉट प्रोसेस बताओ, और एकदम एंड जो भी एकदम बेसिक सोल्यूशन है उससे स्टार्ट होके फिर ऑप्टिमाइज पे जाओ, दिस शुड बी एन आइडिया।